Gentlemen, George Yarid.
Have you ever made love while you watch the Late Late Show? Well, let me ask you this. Have you ever made love on a couch? Well, let me ask you this. Have you ever made love on the back seat of a car? I remember one time I made love on the back seat of a car, and the police came and shined his light on me, and I said, I'm stroking. That's what I'm doing. I be stroking. I stroke it to the east, and I stroke it to the west, and I stroke it to the woman that I love the best. I be stroking. Let me ask you something. How long has it been since you made love? Huh? Did you make love yesterday? Did you make love last week? Did you make love last year? Or maybe it might be that you're planning on making love tonight. But just remember, when you start making love, you make it hard, long, soft, short.
Hey, I be stroking. All right.
I be
Stroking. Woo.
I stroke it to the east, and I stroke it to the west, and I stroke it to the woman that I love the best. I be stroking.
I be stroking.
Now, when I start making love to my woman,
Let's play with my wife. Hey, that's Clarence Carter, and I be stroking. Hey there, ladies and gentlemen. What the hell is going on? You know, I tell you, don't change the set now. Don't do anything right now, because you see me on your camera, and you're just all so giddy. Actually, what you've got going on right now, you've got your butt. You're sitting on the woofers, because you've got a woofer tied to your TV set, and you can hear me. And then when I do this, blah, 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 and then it penetrates through the woofer, and then you go, ooh, and I go, oh, blah, 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 and you go, oh, and I say to you, that's right, more of that every night. Give me a call, and we'll do it. We'll do it to you every freaking night, every freaking morning. Somebody's I hear something going on too. Anyway, all right. So this is the Gorgeous George Show. How are we doing tonight? Week 5. I'm under the weather. I've been huffing, coughing, and just bleh. I've been working on a project all day today in the library, and I'm going to finish it up tomorrow. Been doing a project at the library, court related. I'm going to finish that thing up tomorrow, court related, and hand it in to the courts. That's what I'm going to do. Okay, when you got to do something, you got to do it yourself. You can't depend on anybody to do it for you. You just got to do it yourself. That's the bottom freaking line with that. Kelly Lazar is in the house in a bit. He will be here. He's the one that usually opens for me, so it seems like I'm doing the monologue for Kelly Lazar. What's up with that? Who knows? All right, and Bo's in the house. Melody's in the house, and Razi is in the house. Okay, Roslyn, how you doing, Razi? All right. Are we able to? I guess there's no way to do this because we have only one person doing the back. So are we able to set the cameras like we did last week? One on Razi and close up of me, and then one camera focusing on everybody that's in the house. Are we able to do that? Okay, I'm sure we can. All right. So as we're doing that, and as we're talking about that. Today, I have, when I woke up this morning, I had some morning wood. And it was boom, like that. And I said, damn, 49-year-old man still can do that? And I just had this morning wood. It was just bulging in my pants. And I said, wow. I said, I need to take a picture of this. So I went ahead and took a picture of it. All right. And I sent it on Facebook to 20 of my favorite people on Facebook. And I tell you what, I got a round of applause. They say, George, for an old man, you still got it going on. Yes.
What the hell?
Yeah, there's a bulge in it. That's right. So anyway, so I impressed myself. Yeah, Bo, I impressed myself. Thanksgiving is coming up, and everybody's going to carve their turkey. And then you remember Juliet Childs? Moses, Juliet Childs. You take the turkey and you knead it. You rub its tummy and then you spank its butt. Then you take a thermostat and you stick it up the wazoo. Yes. Now this is me. I'm in the Netherlands. I've been dead for a few years, but I'm channeling through this man's body right now. Juliet Childs said, good turkey, good turkey. And just cook it up there and cook it up and pop it out in 30 minutes. And magnifique. You take that thing, you slice it up, and you got yourself some good turkey. And then you get a little gravy on top, and it's yummy, yummy in your tummy. Julia Childs has done all the turkey.
I've seen her, back in the day, and she sounded really like, she said, and you take the stuffing, and you put the stuffing in the butt of the turkey.
Yes. Oh, that turns me on. Oh my God, that turns me on. God, that gets me fucking hard. Oops. That gets me freaking hard as hell, just to think about that. Anyway.
What about the drunken turkeys?
What's about the drunken turkey?
Okay, you take the turkey, you shove a beer can up its butt.
Ah.
You make it like that. The juices of the beer
Right.
make it really juicy.
Yeah.
And it's beer.
Yeah, and that's your animal sex of the day. Making love. That's today's animal sex. Not talking about baboons, not talking about kangaroos, not talking about anything else, meow, cats and lions. We're talking
the
about
horn is big enough.
making love to your turkey out of the wazoo.
You must spread the legs of the turkey to make the hole big enough for the stuffing in your feast.
Yes, that's right. And then, of course, Dr. Ruth Westheimer, the same voice, he goes, I really can't do her voice now because I got to gargle my voice. You remember Dr. Ruth Westheimer, right? Everybody knows who she is? 90-year-old Jewish woman that's still...
Well, that's the one that has a voice like that.
Yeah.
And she said, if you call me on the phone, I can give you some sex advice.
Yes.
So what would you like to talk about today?
Well, Dr. Ruth.
No, honey, all you have to do is put the penis in the vagina and go in and out. That's how you do it.
Yes. Well, Dr. Ruth, you told me, I listen to your show all the time, Dr. Ruth, and you told me that I know how to do it. If I masturbate, I won't lose that first delight. Is that how you do it? I won't lose that first.
You just don't want to masturbate while you're laying down. Because if you masturbate while you're laying down, you just might splooge in your own mouth.
Oh, yes. Well, Dr. Ruth, I listen to you all the time on the network, and I have to say that
Did you hear me on WBLD?
WBOB.
WBLD.
Oh, WBLD.
95. Channel 95 on the radio.
Oh no, I haven't.
Well, yeah, that's. Where did you hear me from? Then?
I heard you somewhere somewhere on an AM.
Are you watching the show on television?
On an
right
AM
now
radio.
live?
Well, I can't see you, but I can hear you, and it's getting me. Whoo! I'm just getting so hard right now. Just listen to you.
I tell you what, I'm 90 years old, and I do believe that that's so close to being dead. Are you sure you're not a necrophiliac?
Yes. Well, I tell you what, I just feel it. I feel everything I can feel, and I love the nippies. Dr. Ruth, do you have some nippies? Do you still produce milk post toasties?
I have some very saggy nippies. My nippies almost sank to my belly button.
Yes.
You don't want to touch them, they're so wrinkled.
You're so wrinkled? Okay.
Not even a young lady's bride can bring them back.
Right. Well, Dr. Ruth, I mean, I'm glad to see that you're channeling pretty well. So, you got anything else to tell the people out there before we leave?
Yes. Safe sex is having sex with yourself. Masturbation is safe sex.
Okay. All right, ladies and gentlemen, take notes because there will be a test after the show. And when the next show comes on, you will have to pass that test. Get your notepads out, note pens out, and there will be a oral test. All right. Razi, what's going on with you? Can we put it on Razi first? Are we able to do that?
Ooh.
So yes, so you got your number 2 pencil out and your pad? You're going to be able to pass this test?
Ooh, I don't have either one.
Okay. Okay. Well, I get you the number 2 pencil and a pad, and we'll hopefully be able to pass the test once we distribute it out. Anyway, so yeah, it
Is
is.
this camera looking at me?
Well, I guess it is looking at you. I mean, well, look at it. Yeah, it's looking.
I believe it is. I am so sorry. I was looking at him the whole time. I should have been looking at you in your faces when I tell you that safe sex is the best masturbation.
Yes.
Somebody from India. So
This is Dr. Ruth Westheimer.
Listen.
I am your sister.
German accent.
I'm your sister, Dr. Ruth Westheimer. You go put it in the wazoo. Stick it up the wazoo.
Accent? I don't even know.
Yes, well, anyway. All right, ladies, we're going to open up your hymn books right now. We're going to sing. Open your hymn books up right now. I don't know. Just open your hymn books up, and we're going to read the scriptures. Okay? Read the scriptures. In George 7:69, it says in George 7:69, for there was a man, an Italian boy, that came out of his mom's womb one summer day. And all the nurses gathered around to gaze at the wild wonder of the joy that they found. The head nurse looked up, and she said, leave this one alone. Because she could tell that Gigi was right away bad to the frickin' bone. That's George 3:69. Okay, yes.
769?
I don't know.
369.
I've never read those scriptures before.
Okay. All right, and also in, let's see here, in Bubba 766, it said it took an old man to be able to plant the field, and he did it with his hands, and he did it with his hands vigorously, and he went ahead and he grazed the hair and made the hair stand up, and then when he devoured it, it was great. It was a great fixin'. It was a great feast for him
I
to dig
just have
into.
one question. George, did it have horns on the head?
Well, I didn't really look at the horns. I was looking at the actual hair.
It was both horny.
I guess it was horny too. Yeah, but boom, yes. When I was
He loves to spank the monkey.
yes, well, I was actually feasting, and I had a real nice feast. It was really good, and
You know he has a monkey?
yeah. Well,
I say they might have two.
yeah. Well, see now these monkeys, they don't play around. They got rabies too, I think.
Oh, that's why you like to slap them so much.
Yeah, but so you see, there's now actually got a monkey and a baboon, and now this baboon can overpower all of us with his hands.
Yeah.
Put his hands in your face like that and maul you.
Yeah, so you're a monkey that you spank so much. Is it furry?
Is it what?
You have a furry monkey.
Well, it does a trick. I mean, it says it goes up and down, it jumps up and down, so it gets excited. I guess you
I
could say so.
asked if your monkey was furry.
Well,
Does he have fur? Does your monkey have fur on it?
I'm sure on the underlining coat it does.
Ah, so that means you're not shaving the monkey.
Yeah.
You're only slapping the monkey.
Well,
You're
I'm
not
slapping
shaving
it. I'm slapping it with some good stuff, love.
It's No Shave November.
It's
There's no shave November, and here I shaved tonight. What's up with that?
Huh?
I actually shaved the facial hair tonight. That's what I did.
Ah, we waxed tonight.
We
I
waxed.
waxed you good.
You wax it good? Okay. All right. Just Monday, and I had to do this. I've told somebody else that I'm gonna let them do this, but I went. I do this periodically. I went to a Chinese bathhouse. Okay, Chinese massage. We do this. I do this.
Was there a great wall in the bathhouse?
Yeah. Well, it's they do. They're very good at what they do. Let's put it that way. And I did tell a certain somebody that that I need to have them walk on my back, which is going to happen soon. But I had to go.
Did they have the hot rocks?
Did it have the hot rocks?
The hot rocks.
They had the hot rocks and
The hot rocks?
They had the hot rocks and hot pockets.
Oh, yeah.
Hot pockets and smooth hands and
Did they have the knuckle sandwich?
well, they had the knuckles and they also had their feet on my back, walking on my back.
Did
You
they
got-
rub their corns all over your buttocks?
Well, they were rubbing their corns all over my body. And I just said I was about ready to say it's time for can we put some of that in some milk?
Yeah, can I get some butter with that?
Because I put in some flakes, have some corn flakes and butter.
You want
Yeah,
some
some milk?
buttermilk pancakes, huh?
They churn it, and it just comes right out. But yeah, no. So I went to a bathhouse, and just the Chinese lady said, "Ooh, got to see
So did
you
you have
again."
to go to China to go to the bathhouse?
Well, I didn't have to go to China. I went here locally, and they had her in. She said, "Ooh, good to see you again. Do you want your ass rubbed?" I said, "Yes." "So you want your nipples rubbed?" I said, "Yes." She said, "Do you want your toenails and your feet rubbed?" I said, "Most certainly." And she said, "Do you want your Peter rub?" I said, "You know what Daddy likes."
I knew there was a reason that they called him Curious George instead of Curious George.
He said, "Oh, you want your Peter rub?" I said, "I want it rubbed till all night long." And I tell you what, and they walk on your back, they put the rocks in your back, and when you get out of there, you feel really fresh.
I just have one important question.
What's the question?
Do they like to massage their balls?
Well, yeah, they massage the balls, they defect the balls, they kind of put some stuff on your balls, cream on your balls.
Oh.
And is
So you like to get
so
those
wax,
Inside cream on your
yeah,
outside.
wax on, wax off, wax on, wax off my balls. Okay.
So you like to get massage between the butt cheeks too? To massage
Oh
the
well,
balls?
they do that, yes. And so it's all a therapeutic session.
I would have to put some duct tape over that.
Yeah, well, no, you duct tape on that because then you pull the fucking hair off. Pull the freaking hair off. Yeah. So anyway, I just looked up in the mirror and I said, "Damn, I look good." And I looked in the camera and I said, "Damn, I'm looking good tonight." And you know what? Even though I feel like crap tonight, I don't know. I just feel like spectacular. I feel like that God's good and hallelujah. And let's put your hand on the screen, and let me heal you.
So somebody tells me you're going to go back into wrestling.
Well, I was the world champion at one time.
Do you like to pick up the guys between the legs?
Yeah. Well, what I do is we go ahead and improvise. I like doing wrestling with the ladies actually. I like wrestling.
Me too.
Yeah, wrestling with the ladies. That's for some good
You
stuff.
like the co-ed.
I like the co-ed, yes, I do.
That's good.
Speaking of wrestling, we'll talk about this last week. We get a chance to talk about this. The Ric Flair 30 and 30. Everybody knows about the Nature Boy, and this is who I pretty much have been, or this is who I look up to. All the little things that I do on camera is all about Nature Boy Ric Flair. So the 30 and 30.
You would have sex with him.
Well, I'm gonna have sex with him. But it talked about his career and talked about his, what happened. Of course, he had a scare here a few months ago where, he was he almost died. He almost died, and he pretty much came through, and he survived. And of course, now he talks about he had sex with 10,000 women. Now I've had sex with 900 women, so the Nature Boy's got me beat. 10,000 women to my 900 women in a span of a certain amount of time. So yes, Flair's got me beat. Bo, how many women have you had sex with in your lifetime?
I don't know. I can't count them on 10 fingers.
You can't count. Can you count on your fingers and your toes?
No.
Okay, all right.
I've had sex with more married women than married men.
Ah, okay. That's good to hear.
That's bad news, I'm sure.
Bad news bears. Okay.
But
all
it
right.
wasn't my fault. I didn't know they were married.
All right, Rozzy. So what song are we feeling like we're gonna play tonight? What song you want to play tonight?
Oh,
Are you going to play Hotel
it
California?
might sound like a double.
So I want to build one down in Georgia, or maybe how about heard it in a love song, heard it in a love song, 8 feet tall.
Can you do Sweet Home California? Oh, that's Alabama. Lord, I'm coming home to you.
All right, what about it's going to be a heartache tonight, a heartache tonight, because I know.
What's your favorite rock song?
All right.
Oh, let me see.
Desperado, why don't you come to your senses? You've been out chasing fences for so very long.
Witchy Woman.
Ooh, witchy woman. Okay, that's Kevin.
Oh, that must be the
Kevin is in the house, I would have to say. So someone want to answer the door for Kevin there?
Cabinator.
Kevin is in the house, and I'm in the house. Everybody's in the house with Kevin. Yeah, I'm delirious tonight. I don't feel good. I'm delirious. I don't feel good, but I don't care because you know what? I could just sit here and say
I
nothing.
love that song you did last week. I forgot that.
Supertramp, give a little bit of your love to me. She did that on my birthday, actually. It's a good song.
Can you sing like a Fats Domino song? You know Fats Domino?
Yes. No.
All right, well, let's see here. Now I know you have done some good songs before.
What? Fever.
Eager to what?
Fever.
Eager beaver.
What did you practice today?
Or
Well, we're practicing a song called Going Down.
Well, practice that one. Play that
We
one.
Are Going Down is the complete title of it. So,
All right, here we go. Here it is. Here she is. Put it on me real fast. And well, put it on me real fast. Guess not. I was going to announce her, but that's all. I was going to announce her, but that's, Rozzy does a good job. She plays the guitar, and she'll do it with a little pizzazz. Anyway, so now we're going to go ahead and get into, and I want to talk about some things about the spirit world. Okay, and this is something I didn't even know what the hell I'm talking about, but I just decided to talk about some of the spirit world. Now, when we have been through certain facets of life, and we go through certain facets of life, we've kind of, most of our life, and we've kind of been at certain places before in life, and we know that we've experienced that before. So whatever we've done, I'm hearing feedback for some reason. I don't know what's going on. We experiencing things in life that we've experienced before. So it's kind of like, going on a time warp, maybe, and then coming back, and then you go through the stages of what you've experienced. Now, through life itself, the yin and the yang, creationism versus evolution, and we get into every degree of it. You got your Bible belt, your Bible thumpers out there that will tell you, this, that, and the other, and of course, it's to being spiritual and believing in creationism and believing in, either Jesus or Buddha or whatever who your God is. Then we get into, just spiritual, being spiritual, believing in what you want to believe in, seeing, kind of have a premonition and seeing things for what they are. And so you've been somewhere, you've experienced it, therefore it happens again, so you kind of believe things will happen and transpire. Then you go through believing, just being a complete atheist and not believing in nothing. An atheist not believing in nothing, just him, hum, hoo, and when you die, you rot to hell. You die under the ground, you rot to hell.
You know what's crazy? I've met people that have said they were atheists, and then they sit there and talk about Satan and how they believe in Satan. But wait a minute. How can you believe in Satan, the Son of God, if you don't believe in God? That making sense.
Yeah. Well, and we get into that category and whatnot, but it's just that when people that you've known and people that have been in your space and in your world, I'm hearing a lot of feedback. Are we hearing spirits right now? Are there spirits coming through the set? I'm hearing stuff right on this phone. I mean, this phone is not even on, but I don't know. We're here. I don't like spiders and snakes, but that's not what it takes to love me. You fool, you fool.
And November is Scorpio month.
Yeah.
Those are psychic people.
Okay.
They get into the deep and the taboo and everything that we all shudder about. And then they're homosexual.
Yeah.
You have to work out to have sex
Well,
with
so then, like I said, so believing in nothing, believing in absolutely nothing, and then you make you wonder. So I mean, there's a reason for everything. There's a reason for why we're here. A reason for why Razi's here. There's a reason why Indwella is in the back, doing the computer with the camera and all that. Why he's here. He has a purpose. And everybody in this room, there's a reason for everything and everybody.
I'd
So,
rather be
You're
safe
being
than sorry.
tested.
huh?
I would rather be safe than sorry.
Okay.
Like, I've been brought up to believe in Christ and God and the Holy Spirit, and because of my belief, whether it is real or it isn't, but because of my belief in
Israel.
that belief,
Oh, it is real. I said somebody Israel. Okay, I'm sorry.
right. But because of my belief and hope in that belief, it's gotten me through life.
Right.
It has gotten me further through life than if I had tried to get through it on my own.
Well, Bo, I mean, you're a good example. You are an excellent example of this because what you went through, and I hate to
I survived
Born
in this.
again.
regurgitate this over again, but I mean, what you went through, and then not having a snowball's chance, and then they told you, and you came back and came out of it, and you proved everybody wrong.
I survived an injury that would have killed most people.
Yeah.
A bullet through the lung, out the other side, bullet splinters through the lung, in my spine, took me out. The shock should have killed me.
Did
Yeah.
it make you a born again Christian?
No, I was actually, I've been following spiritual life since I was very young.
Did something happen to you when you were very young?
I started a spiritual life when I was 3 years old. We were going to church when I was a child.
Man, so sweet as a
So it's
Charmin.
not just
I've come to have my own beliefs. I believe
Vance will squeeze anything that moves.
changes,
I'm sorry.
So also changes, things and rulings of the Bible, etc. But I do believe in God. I do believe in Christ. I do believe in the Holy Spirit. And without that belief, I'd be dead right now.
So you're like a religious opiate?
A religious opiate?
Yeah, like a crutch type thing?
No, I'm not that. I'm just spiritual.
Oh.
I don't smash my beliefs and my way of thinking into other people. But if people come at me with non-belief, then I'm going to try to convince them, if they ask me to, why what I believe in is so real.
So you associate it with mother, family, like being sheep,
Bah.
everything,
I mean,
conformity.
Bah.
like Joseph in the fields that the Bible mentioned. We so have heard different stories of slavery. My siblings and I, just like Joseph and his brothers, were in the fields every year. We weren't herding sheep, but we did have to pick blackberries from 6:30 in the morning until 9 o'clock at night during the blackberry season. And we were forced to do it with either, if you didn't bring enough up, you got lukewarm water or you got a beaten. If you didn't bring enough up, you didn't get dinner or you got lukewarm water. One of the choices or beating.
So this is real.
And this is real.
It happened to you, so we aren't
This
felt that
happened
you
to
were
me and my
abused.
siblings.
You didn't feel you were abused or anything.
We were
Different times.
we were back at that time
Different
not
times.
considered to be physically abused, but in this time women
Oh,
would be
yeah,
considered to be
heartbeat. That would be
physically abused.
considered definite.
I mean, we weren't just slapped a little bit. We were hit with a belt that was slim and leather 20 to 30 times because that's how many whips that Jesus Christ got on his back. We were beaten with a paddle that was 2 feet long and almost an inch thick, 3/4 of an inch thick, that had holes drilled in it that was supposed to be more aerodynamic. And a lot of times our mother missed our rear ends and hit us in the backbone. You know what I'm saying?
Say, mommy, don't slap me. Don't hit me with a belt, mommy.
We were,
Conditioning.
because she was angry at one person, took it out on me. You know what I'm saying? The foster and adopted children were the children in the family that had to do the most. I started babysitting at the age of 5. I started picking blackberries at the age of 8 years old. And I picked blackberries through the age of 15.
What about blueberries?
Do you use religion
No,
as
blackberry.
escapism?
No blueberries?
We had a blackberry farm on Hopkins Road,
Okay.
right close to a strawberry farm and a horse farm across the street.
Yeah.
Back then, there weren't a whole lot of neighborhoods, you know what I'm
Uh-huh.
saying, like Indian Springs, et cetera, which was built close to where I grew up. But we literally grew up. Our childhood was composed of picking blackberries and bringing them up to be sold every day.
Uh-huh.
And we were picking not just a little pint or a quart, we were picking gallons and gallons of blackberries.
There you go. There you go.
Anywhere between 2 and 5 gallons per person every day. Picking them out of, 13-foot tall bushes that you had to reach up with a hook and pull down the thing to pick the berries and drop them in your bucket,
Right.
And we had to deal with get stung by bees, get bit by snakes, and of course the sharp blackberry thorns. And because of that, you have to dress up in thick clothing so
Right.
the thorns don't hurt you as bad.
Yeah.
So you're out there in 100-degree heat in full clothing.
Yeah.
So do you use religion as escapism to make it bearable, like a mental lubricant
No.
for daily
My
living?
parents were religious. My parents believed in certain things, and because of certain things in the Bible, they used that as an excuse to punish us certain ways, et cetera, et cetera. But, I came to believe in my own thing, especially after injuries that had happened to me that nobody could have survived, or most wouldn't have survived, including when I was 12 and knocked the top of my skull, when I was
Damn.
16 being run over by a tractor,
Damn.
2 years ago being shot through my lung and into my spine. I'm still here, and I wasn't handicapped back then, but as time goes by, you don't look at what handicapped people go through, and sometimes if you're feeling some kind of way, you might even have a negative thing to say. But being in this position, coming out of this hospital, not being able to move my legs, not being able to stand up, made me realize what handicapped people went through.
Mm-hmm.
And because of that, I was able to write a song and dedicate that song to them.
There you
So
go.
you feel
There you go.
modern day Job.
So here's
Modern day Job.
Yeah, with all this things that happened to you.
You
A test.
modern day Job, modern day Daniel, modern day Joseph. I've been called a prophet before. I don't really believe that I'm necessarily a prophet, but I had been called a prophet before. Like we were talking earlier, you have premonitions,
Yeah.
and I've had premonitions of things happening and spoke of it before it happened. At the same time, I've actually invented things, and those came in to happen. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
I'm not God, but there are special
Well, you're-
people with special gifts.
right. There's a lot of people that are intuitive and
Psychic.
yeah, there are a lot of people that are intuitive and that are gifted and are blessed and have the sixth sense, if you will, and to be able to see things and be able to see things and be able to mediums, be able to talk to people from the dead. Something of another.
Once you have been dead and you have faced death, then when you come back, it is not your fault and you can't be blamed. But when you come back, you can see and talk to the dead.
Now, okay, I think, but we've had this discussion before. So you were clinically dead.
I was clinically dead at 12 years old.
You were clinically dead at 12 years old.
I was laid on.
What did you see?
Yeah, this tunnel.
What did you see?
It's crazy. It's not about what I saw, but about what I was inside the hospital. My body's laying on the table, but my 12-year-old spirit not running, but walking around trying to talk to people and couldn't understand why nobody could hear me.
Right.
It was my spirit. I was in
Right.
spirit form. And because of that, nobody could hear what I was saying. And I got down to the basement somehow, I just followed some people, trying to get their attention, and I went into the elevator because I always wanted to take an elevator ride. And I got down in the basement, and I saw another gentleman that seemed to be by himself. Maybe he would pay attention to me. And I said, "Excuse me, sir." He looked up and he's like, "You can see me?" I said, "Yes, sir. Can you see me?" And he realized that I was in the form that he was in. because he was a spirit. Now, I didn't know that he was in spirit form. You see what I'm saying? So when he walked me back to the elevator, to make a long story short, and he walked me back up to the area that my spirit had come from, the ICU, and he walked me to my body. He said, well, son, I guess it's not your time to go. This is a big black man that a lot of people I'm just going to say, when he laid me into his body, I reached out to shake his hand, and his spirit was pulled into my body. And I had that spirit for the rest of my time, even after I got shot 2 years ago. And I believe that the spirit of that man in me, that strong spirit, is one of the reasons why I'm still alive today, and God put it there.
That's profound. I mean, that's really profound.
And
I
there's
mean,
a group that meets at VCU on Tuesdays at 11 a.m. at the coffee shop there, and it's called "Do You Have a Spiritual Experience?" And they discuss it and share it. Have you heard of that group?
I have
I
not.
have.
It's in Star Magazine.
I have.
Okay.
Yeah, they invited me to one
That's
of
probably
their
Kevin.
things in November. It was a paranormal
Kevin being
walk.
late.
They call
Believe
me
that.
Haunting Melody for a reason. Everything y'all are talking about, this is like my life. I noticed a big thing about what y'all two were discussing. He kept saying spirituality, but you kept saying religion. There's actually two different things. They are very two different things.
Oh, yeah, the religion's
Spirituality is having a connection with something that you know is there. You know without a shadow of a doubt it's there. Religious is having faith in something you don't see, but you believe it's there. So it
You
is
need to
two
be on
different
camera
things.
saying that.
yeah.
Yeah, you should be.
You should get on camera and do that, basically. But here's the whole situation. Hey, what's up?
Hi,
All right, what is going on? I'm gonna give you a little chair. Well, yeah, I'll just have a seat at one minute. And Kayla Zara is finally in the house. I mean, good God, where have you been? Where the hell have you been, man?
Come down here.
I've been everywhere.
You've been everywhere, huh? Okay.
In fact, I got you a present.
What was that? I already have that book, man. You know,
Oh, that's interesting.
I already have that book.
Well, in case you run out of toilet paper.
Okay. Well, yeah. Well, that is a good read. I read that book. It's really a good read. It's a big book to read. It's a lot of stuff. There's a lot of big words for you, Kevin.
A lot of big words.
A lot of big words here for you, Kevin.
Good
All
little
right.
picture of mine.
So, as we're saying about being spiritual, and this is what I think and see basically, that I believe that that I am spiritual, and I have premonition, and I see things happening, and I see things happening sometimes beyond stopping. So let's see, let's have premonition.
I had visions
Yeah.
before some things happened.
They explain that in the Bible.
Earthquakes.
They do. Yeah, well, I don't read the Bible, but
Like
They
the
do.
tsunami that
Yeah.
happened in Japan, the one that happened in the Philippines. I saw this before it happened.
Yeah.
But it's like, I can't go out telling people this is going to happen, because then they're going to look at me like, so if you're magic, you made that happen.
yeah.
I didn't make it happen. I just
Yeah, a lot
Trust.
of people don't realize that everyone's born with this gift. It clearly states in the Bible that God put a veil over our eyes. That is the veil He put over our eyes. Some people have had that veil lifted. Some people are kissed by death or touched by death in some ways. That veil becomes very
It's lifted.
foggy. It's lifted, so they have this amazing, or even frontal lobe damage. Things like this can cause.
The Shining, it's called.
Right.
That's where
Yeah.
the story. That's
Right.
where the story gets.
Well,
Yeah.
here's what I want to say basically once again. So you look at upon being spiritual or believing in whatever religion you believe in, or just totally not believing. And totally not believing, makes me wonder. Well, I mean, you have to wonder, like, how can you not? There's a reason and rhyme for all of this. There's a reason and rhyme for every little thing that goes on. So being spiritual and being connected with and seeing things happen and knowing things happen, pretty much, it does happen because you have that sixth sense. Now,
Good movie.
all right, so yeah, that was a good movie. I had a situation that I had lost someone very close to me back in April, and I believe with all my heart that she is with me. And it's very it's when you go back. This year has been really a bad year for me. I mean, people losing to someone you care about. So losing her in April, it was very sad, and it was very heart wrenching.
How long
And
have you been
I have dealt with it. And so, yes, I do feel that peace that's there, and I do feel that she's with me. And
Can I tell you a little secret? Okay, most people don't realize, but death is just a transition. Just like being born into this life, it's just a transition. Oh, this is a vessel.
Right.
It's one dimension to earth, to another dimension. So just because she passed away, she truly is still with you. Just
Yeah.
call upon her if you ever need help, and she will be there to help.
That's right. I
And
believe it.
anyone out there, I mean, the same thing goes to y'all. If you ever feel like you need somebody, or your grandma, or your dad, or your mom, or somebody like that, you know, God gave us this ability to be able to still communicate with them. Just because we can't see them and we can't
That's right.
physically hear them, you know deep down inside, like a rose blooming in the dead of winter right outside your children's house.
That's right.
Knowing that that was for your children. These are
And-
some signs you can't.
Cardinals.
Or butterflies.
Cardinals, red birds.
Things that
Red
are
birds
so
flying around.
unnatural that you can't just sit there and be like, well, that's not real. I mean, you just seen it, you know?
Because we're conditioned to not believe it's real. And children and women are the most psychic. And that society conditions us to put it back in the background. And
A mother's
men can be
instinct.
Psychic as anybody else. And
A
I read
mother's
about
instinct.
indigo children, people born after 1971. They talked when they were children to somebody who's in the room that the parents who were born earlier don't see. So you have a way of contacting those.
Yep.
that
You're
are-
really, wow, you know about indigo children?
When a
Yes.
child is innocent,
Yeah.
they can see spirits in the other dimension.
Till they reach the age of 18,
Yeah,
where
you hear the children say,
Not
I talked to
necessarily
grandmother last
they
night,
came,
and the mother
but like
says,
to the
but
age
she
of-
died before
it,
you
where
were
the age
born."
of innocence
kind of
is
thing.
gone. Yeah, the age of
Before they
innocence
were,
is gone.
so died at birth.
Mindedness.
So they died at birth, basically, is what we're, yeah.
Well,
Pretty
no,
much.
no, no. The age of innocence, it's like children when they're first born. Remember, I told you it was transitional.
Mm-hmm.
So when they're coming from taking one soul from body to body,
Right.
they don't know any different. So to them, they're still sometimes part of their past lives. That's why these children are coming forward with social security numbers,
Yeah.
stating how they died. It's because they never forgot these, even though the body died.
Right.
The brain, the energy inside was still a force. It's a
Right.
soul.
There you go.
So to sit there and
Well, you're not necessarily born with a soul. Sometimes a child doesn't acquire a soul until he's 8 or 9, and sometimes not at all. But your soul is essentially given to you after your first 2 or 3 weeks of life, and it's given to you from the force, from the angelic power, the bank, so to speak, of spirits.
And then there are children who be interested in food from another culture and country that they never had it in their real home. They can, some talk or intelligent. Like the indigo children, they're really, I read some of that, they are old souls from the future coming back here, and therefore they resent people giving them orders and expect them to obey when they have a more creative way of solving problems. And you're supposed to talk to them like adults.
Well, you do
Because-
know that, you know, as
souls.
children, we're not only given spirits, but some children are given demon spirits or bad spirits. And, you know, whether acquired because of someone has to be reincarnated into another person or reincarnated into an animal. There are a lot of people that are reincarnated into other people, and they have to relive their life because they chose to exit their life with being bad to people like murderers, or they chose to off themselves or something like that. So they're given another chance to remake a life and try again. And sometimes you can evolutionize your spirit, not your body, but the spirit can evolutionize through time to become better and better until finally the spirit gets it right and doesn't do the wrong that the good book tells us that we shouldn't do.
And I read that we have about 10,000 lifetimes to learn.
Sometimes.
Reincarnation is always something that I've been fascinated with. I don't know per se if I.
Lebanon.
Well, yeah, I'm been very fascinated by reincarnation, but I mean, then again, who's to know? I mean, you kind of believe.
Have you ever,
well, if you
you
ever
know.
come in contact
I've heard
with
a
one,
person?
have you ever heard a story, if your life is taken with malice for no reason, then your spirit gets reincarnated? Have you ever heard that story? Alright, so a lot of times animals' lives also, animals have spirits too, their life is taken. How many how many people out here have you seen literally that looked like they used to be a rabbit?
Yes.
Or a horse, or a bear, or a wolf.
They
Yeah.
have those features.
My high school gym teacher.
I said I used to be a cat.
Make sure
If
that.
I had to, I'd say I used to be a
Look
cat.
like animals.
All right,
Is
well,
that
The
anyway.
guy who towed my car a couple of weeks ago.
So Kevin, talk about your what happened to you in the dentist office.
Oh, that's what happened to me.
Okay.
I'm missing a tooth.
Did you get psychic from under the medication?
No, I'm all right now, but man, oh, let me tell you something. It was something else. You know, I've had all my teeth, all this, my whole life. There was only one celebrity in Hollywood with more teeth than me, and that was Mr. Ed.
Okay. Well, I mean,
And now I'm listening to
okay, Mr. Ed, and of course, you know, Jimmy Carter too. I mean,
Jimmy Carter.
Jimmy Carter too, and that. So
Because
yeah.
you're born with too many teeth.
Yes, like a shark.
Okay.
But I'm fine now.
And you're able to spit and swallow now better,
What about
right?
your lightning experience?
Right.
When lightning.
That was a good while ago. This year is the August sometime. It was the 30th anniversary of me getting struck by lightning, and that was pretty wild. I was struck by lightning in my. I was living at home, and it went right through the chimney, went through the fireplace, and I grabbed on this watch. And this shows you how long ago it was. I was on a phonograph record, playing a phonograph, and when I reached the metal tone arm, connected the whole system, and I got
Grabbing the record, huh?
And,
what record were you grabbing?
You won't believe this, but it was that octagonal record that from the Rolling Stones, and the song that almost became the last song I ever heard was "Honky Tonk Woman." Can you imagine that? And you're hearing that, and then boom. But you know, a lot of people don't turn out so well getting struck by lightning. I'm still here to talk. Me and Lee Trevino
And Ric
the
Flair.
guy-
And Ric Flair
Ric
also.
Flair
Ric Flair
and
also.
the guy
Yeah.
from Three's Company, not John Ritter, but the neighbor guy.
That's right.
Richard Klein. Yeah.
Okay. So anyway,
Come on up.
Struck by
Come on
lightning,
up,
huh,
girl.
Kevin?
Yeah.
Oh, I don't believe
yeah.
this.
Well,
So
okay.
you must have been on that game show Bullseye.
Bullseye.
Yeah.
Right.
Struck by lightning.
All right. So what we got going? Okay. So anyway, basically, this situation is that when you.
You
Okay.
haven't met me.
I came in so late.
All right. Well, I can
can't
see. I can see
can't
all
believe
that.
I'm touching this coat.
I'm in a show.
yeah,
I'm in a
you
show.
touched it, and
And this
of course-
is Mary. And Mary plays Mrs. Beaver. I play Mr. Beaver
Mary-
in Chronicles of Narnia.
Mary.
So come see it this weekend at Elizabeth Davis. So
Okay.
That's,
All right.
That's Mary.
All right. And I believe that you've been following what's been going on. Well, you've been following what's been going on with me in the trolls, haven't you? Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Okay. I saw that.
I haven't.
Everyone has.
I know she has, but anyway. All right, so anyway, we are pretty much what's causing all this. We do what we do with a little pizzazz. I have been blessing your TV screen for 23 years, and Vanessa, I got to put you in the back room with a dunce cap on. Did you bring your mother here? I told you to bring your mother here and have her sit in the back here with us, and have her digest what we do.
She said no.
Okay, well, that's her loss, too. You could bring her here, she could have digested everything, and we could have had a quiz for her to take.
But then again, I didn't know y'all was talking about church tonight.
No.
We could have had service here.
Yeah, we
Yeah,
could
service.
have.
Okay, well, so anyway, so,
You should bless everybody when it's all.
Question.
I can say
Yeah.
a prayer for everybody right now.
I was hearing the conversation
God bless us all.
that was held earlier on the show, and it made me think, do we really choose to be born? That's my question.
That's
Do we
my
choose to
question.
I know all about this. I used to say, when I get in arguments with my parents, I'd always say to them, I didn't ask to be born. And they'd always say, well, if you did, the answer would have been no.
Wow.
well, you have that, the feeling basically when you ask and the premonition, they say, do you want to be a boy or do you want to be a girl? And I think I remember going through this, do you want to be a boy or do you want to be a girl? And I said what I wanted to be. And
I didn't
answer
get my
whatever.
choice.
Yeah.
What if we have,
We are created, we're going
So,
the same group
anyway.
of people in different bodies.
All right.
Forms, races, genders.
what if,
I don't think you got a choice. You're born with a certain product, you're called a male, and that's what you're supposed to be.
here's another
And if
question.
you choose to be something else and you want to be something else,
And there
that's
goes-
fine with me.
And there are those who felt like they were male instead of the gender they were stuck with, and vice
Yeah.
versa.
What was your question?
Bo, you look like a avant-garde Clark Kent on his day off.
Another question.
Yes.
If a higher power were to ask you a question before you live, would it be, would you rather choose a life that sucks so horribly, or would you rather choose a life that sucks less than that other life I mentioned before? And your answer is, I don't know. What's the difference? It's just not an answer. It's another question.
You know what's crazy? You know, when they say you're reincarnated, you get punished in the one life that you're living hell for the person that you were in the past life. And I truly believe that. And, you know, karma is against everybody when it comes down to it. If you don't follow the path and don't do things right and you badge other people, then karma's going to get you. Whether it's a thought pattern or just somebody's curse or spell, karma's going to get you.
Well, now, let me say this. I do believe in part of that. I do believe that karma can, yeah, I mean, if you, what you do, what you put in, the yin and the yang again, what you put in and put out. But I don't necessarily believe, I don't know if, you know, like, you know, say that you're cursed a certain way because in your previous life when you were a king or when you were a queen, well, maybe, I don't know. I don't know if that, you know, if that's talking about reincarnation. And I believe I kind of have mixed feelings about reincarnation. I've always been, again, fascinated with reincarnation. I've been fascinated with the process of reincarnation. But I don't know per se if I totally believe, though, the aspect of that you're punished for something in a different life.
Like,
punished for something in a different life, but what you put out.
Whether you want to go to heaven or hell,
Right.
If you do this and follow the Christianity or follow the good book of the Bible and you follow those rules and you're good to people, then your life is going to be a heavenly life.
Right, what you do.
Whether you go to heaven or hell.
Well, let me bring
What you do in that
Heaven or
life.
hell may not
But
actually be a place, but a point in time in
State
your
of mind.
life.
what I'm saying is, yeah, what you do in that life, but they're saying in a previous life. I don't necessarily believe in a previous life. I believe in the here and the now. So I mean, you know, I don't know. I don't know per se. You know.
You're like a homophobe. You may come back as a gay person in the next life. So be careful who you're nice to in this life.
Yeah.
That makes
Okay.
sense. That makes sense.
Could have
Be
been
like-
racist in the last life and killed a lot of people of the other race, and now you're in this life trying to figure it out, and you know, you're having a bad life and you don't know why you're you know trying to make things right, but you know you gotta make things right if you want to make your life better for the future. I mean, you could be the kind of person that keeps on doing things that might put you in prison, or you could be the kind of person that'll get you moving forward, like going to college and getting a real good job and living life like you should.
And like the Jewish concept that here on earth, you can be heaven, you can be hell, or it can be earth to you. Like, I feel like I've been living in a hell.
It
And
says
here
heaven on earth
it's
and
a state
hell
of
on earth,
mind.
so which is
It
it?
is
That's
state
the
of
question
mind,
to
and
think.
it's what you allow yourself to do,
Right.
because you know, you set your own path, and if you choose to go in the path of destruction, then that's what your life is going to lead you into. If you choose to go in the path of righteousness, which is a smaller path, and you're good to people, and you do life how you're supposed to, not always now. Not always. I've done good for people and been smacked in the face. I've done good for people and, you know, been put down and ridiculed and had bad things happen to me for doing good to people. Maybe because I was doing good for the wrong people.
Well, you do. Yeah, you do pretty much what you do. I mean, it's in the moment.
Also, can
Do what you do in the moment,
But
basically.
you have,
So
you have
you
to learn
know.
how to control that in the moment thing to make sure that you don't go in the wrong direction.
Right.
Well, also you need to
in a moment.
remember that our reward is not here on earth. It's not. And anything that we deal with here on earth is just to make us better people. We're put in situations to
Well,
define
that's
us.
not necessarily so, because if you're reincarnated, let's say you're reincarnated into a good kid's life who ends up continuing to be a good kid, and by the time he's 19, 20 years old, he's now a millionaire, has everything in the world, got a wife, got a kid, you know, coming, or got a beautiful mansion, and is living the life. That's called living the life. But it's because he was rewarded for the previous life where he was good in the previous life.
But
All right, so is it safe that-
that's
so is it safe
giving
to-
the rewards money?
Is it safe to say then that most of us believe in reincarnation?
Say heaven is a great.
Oh, I have to believe in it.
Mansion,
I've met
like,
people
that has
that
the
I
beautiful
know
golden
people.
gates.
Yeah.
Okay, so as a general consensus, is it safe to say that most of us believe in reincarnation?
Yes.
I think a lot of us do. There's a lot of people out here that don't.
Yeah. See, I'm on the fence.
You know,
It's not a
I
it's not a Christian thing.
I'm more with
No,
anything.
It's a Hindu thing.
It
Well, I mean,
stems lots of religions.
whether it's Hindu or
Lots of
Christian or
religions.
whatever, it's still something. Yeah, it's Hindu or Christian.
Yeah.
I mean, and the bottom line is, I've been on the fence about it. It's fascinating. It's fascinating to me, basically. What you do, what you put in is put out. What you put in and what you put out. Or
Garbage
vice
in,
versa.
garbage out.
That's right, that's right.
So, but always, but I mean, I always say it's in the moment. I mean, I always say in the moment, and then you move from there. All right.
What was you reincarnated as? Was you like in your past life King George III, and then you became a king, and now today
Well, I mean,
you're
I was-
George George, and unfortunately for your punishment, you've been a Cowboys fan.
See, Vince, let me tell you something. First of all, I don't follow a team that hasn't won in freaking 15 years. I don't follow a team that has a racial slur known as the Redskins.
Cowboys are a racial slur.
Racial slur as the Deadskins.
Cowboys are a
Redskins.
racial slur.
Thirdly, I don't follow that team.
I'm Native American, and I do not have a problem with that name, and I keep it.
And then fourthly, you follow a team with an owner
We
that is
don't care.
pretty much a dunce. Okay, I agree with a dunce, and the fans are, okay, I hate to say it, are pretty much, okay. Thank you very much. And last time, we took care of you all, so I don't hear anything.
Paranoid in the past. So instead of being king, queens, or Egyptians or whatever, some people prefer the life of being the peasant because they're not as paranoid. What were you going to say?
Oh, no, I was talking about another subject.
He's on a different show.
Okay. Well, like I said, as we said before, we stroke it to the east, we stroke it to the west, I stroke it straight up, for what you see goes right into your mouth, yes. Okay.
Danielle,
All right, so anyway.
Getting back to a more previous topic, I was thinking the subconscious mind retains some memory from a previous life. At least that's what I believe. Like, what could possibly explain my crippling fear response when I hear air horn fire alarms? Maybe I had an experience in the distant past, like in World War II or something, and then came back
Very
in this
possible.
life, and I'm reliving some trauma.
Phobia.
You used to be a dog or a cat, and you were afraid of the vacuum cleaner.
I don't understand.
Let's go back as a human. I don't understand.
All right.
You have the last word,
Well, you know what? It goes like
Let's
this.
end the season.
It goes like this. No, and it's never end. There's never an end. There's never no end. There's never a last show. Never a last show. Johnny's are forever, baby, and so is Gorgeous George. Believe it or not. One Mona Lisa, one Leaning Tower of Pisa, and only one Gorgeous George. I have been doing this for so very long, and for you trolls, Melody, tell them real fast what they can do.
You don't want to hear what has to come out of my mouth about
They can
it.
take a flying leap.
But I do have one thing to say. You can't pay for prices, baby. You can't pay for
Okay,
everything.
so basically, you trolls can go to hell and take a flying leap for your own fecal. I am Gorgeous George, and I am here, baby.
Hi.
And we might do the show in Dallas.